There are movies that strike a chord within our childhood. Movies that help us remember happy times. Movies that even scare us. But there is one thing for certain that we all can agree on. Movies are amazing. This is my top 10 most anticipated movies of 2019. So 2019 has been a great year for movies so far. My top 10 most anticipated movies of 2019. There has been so many great movies up until now. And it's just, there's so many on this list, it's hard to whittle them down. So this list honestly is in no particular order, just movies that I'm hyped about. Hence why I'm making this video. So starting off the list, we're gonna go to number 10, and that is It. So It Chapter 2 takes place 20 years after the events of the first movie. The Loser Club are all grown up, they do adult things like pay taxes, but a strange phone call reunites the Loser Club back to fight the evil and creepy Pennywise the Clown. Georgie's gonna get ya! We need to address the actors in this. I mean, they have cast great actors not only to look like the kids, but the acting level, it grew. I mean, you have James McAvoy, Jessica Chastain, and Bill Hader. I mean, like I said, boop, 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 boop. So if you're excited as I am to see what Pennywise does next, September 6th, 2019, It Chapter 2 will grace our screens to scare the crap out of us. And our number 9 spot goes to Disney's Lion King. Now, Lion King is one of Disney's most loved movies back in the day, and they are making a live-action version of it in the form of CGI. Lion King is one of my favorite Disney movies, and I am very excited for this movie, not because it's Lion King, also because of, yet again, they assembled a great cast. I mean, you have Seth Rogen, Donald Glover as Simba, you even have James Earl Jones back as Mufasa. I mean, I don't have to say anything else. You could just said James Earl Jones is returning as Mufasa, and I'd be like, all right, Disney, here's my money. And this movie is directed by Jon Favreau, who did, of course, Iron Man 1 and The Jungle Book. So if you're excited for this Disney classic, if you're a Disney fan, well, July 19th, 2019, get your tickets. And the number 8 spot on my list goes to Marvel, and that of Spider-Man Far From Home. Now, in Spider-Man Far From Home, a direct movie after Endgame, Spider-Man goes to Europe for a class trip, and all insanity breaks out. He meets Mysterio, who's played by Jake Gyllenhaal. I mean, I knew he was going to be cast as Mysterio, but when you see the trailers and then you see this...
You don't want any part of this.
That's Jake Gyllenhaal. I mean, at this point, we all know Marvel. We know what to expect from Marvel. It's going to be fun, great comedy, action. I mean, it's Spider-Man. So if you're excited, I mean, if you're a Marvel fan, which I'm pretty sure half of you are, July 5th, 2019, we will see the great Peter Parker against Jake Gyllenhaal. Next up on the list, we're going to move from Marvel and head over to DC in the way of Shazam, number 7 on the list. That's right, I said DC. Now, DC has had a good little success running off the coattails of Wonder Woman and Aquaman. So this one looks like it's aiming to please. With a perfect Rotten Tomatoes score, I mean, do I need to say more? Rotten Tomatoes knows good movies? Now, Shazam is about a boy named Billy Batson who is given the powers of Shazam. Whenever he says the word Shazam, lightning bolt strikes him and he turns into a full-blown god. So think of a 13-year-old boy mindset in the body of a huge, like Thor. That's funny. When I first saw the trailer, I was laughing. I mean, DC is starting to figure out their genres. This is their comedy. And they're solely working on solo independent movies like they should have done at the beginning of the DC universe. But Shazam flies into theaters April 5th, 2019. Get your tickets, because this will be a fun movie. I don't see myself walking out of this theater disappointed by it. I just have a feeling. Number 6 on our list brings us to one of Fox's last movies in this franchise, and that is X-Men: The Dark Phoenix. I mean, looking at the trailer, man, I am really excited to see this. You see Jean struggling with this big internal power she has. It looks like she kills Mystique in like the first 5 minutes of the film. And Sophie Turner as Jean Grey, I didn't mind. I would like to see her character progress more and more and lead up to the Dark Phoenix. But the fact that this is their last movie under Fox, I'm pretty sure they're like, let's just try to slip this right under, at the last second so we can show them what we want it to do. I hope it works. Now, the reason why this is the last movie in this studio's franchise is because of the Disney-Fox merger. If you don't know about that, check out my latest video that I did on it. It's all about the merger and what's going on with that merger. So if you're ready to say goodbye to X-Men at Fox, well, June 7th, 2019 is the date when you cry, maybe? Or you say, good job, X-Men. You gave us some good movies. I mean, look at Logan. Number 5 on the list goes back to a Stephen King book and back to a Stephen King reboot in the way of Pet Sematary. Now, the original movie that came out was great. It was creepy. Granted, I saw it as a kid, but I mean, how can you forget seeing the little kid with the syringe in his hand saying, "I have a present for you, Mommy." Now, Pet Sematary was a wonderful book and a great movie about pretty much you bury something in this ancient Indian burial ground and it comes back to life. Jason Clarke and John Lithgow lead the cast of this creepy reboot. And if you haven't seen the trailer, I mean, it has those same elements of creep in it, but there's also just weird little creepy nuances that were from the book. Like, for example, the trailer starts and you see these kids drumming randomly in the woods and they have bunny masks on. If I saw that in the woods, I would run the opposite way. So if you're a Stephen King fan and you're done seeing It Chapter 2, April 5th, 2019, check out Pet Sematary. Yeah, it's creepy. Number 4 on our list is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is Quentin Tarantino's 9th feature-length film. The 2 actors that I'm going to mention that are in this movie, if you just said it was only about these 2 actors, you would have my money. Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt. Now, this movie is about a faded television actor in the way of Leonardo DiCaprio, that was hard to say, and his stunt double, played by Brad Pitt. They both struggle to find success in the golden age of Hollywood, and at the same time, the Charles Manson murders are going on. That is some crazy stuff. I mean, come on, it's Quentin Tarantino, it's that era in Hollywood, Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio, Margot Robbie plays Sharon Tate. I mean, this is just going to be a quintessential Quentin Tarantino film. That is a tongue twister. Try that. So if you're a Quentin fan, you gotta check this movie out. July 26th, 2019. But you have to admit, his writing is amazing. And this era in Hollywood is tailored perfectly to the way that he writes. So check it out. Number 3 on my list takes us back to the fantasy realm in the reboot of Hellboy. Now, Hellboy is a remake or a reboot of Guillermo del Toro's fantastic 2 films. And at first, I thought this movie doesn't need to be rebooted, but then you see the trailer and you're like, okay, I get it. Sadly, Ron Perlman won't be reprising his role as the lovable demon from hell. But his replacement, David Harbour, from Stranger Things, who plays Hopper, is a wonderful choice to put on the horns, or half the horns, for this iconic and hilarious character. Now, this movie looks like it's going to have some wonderful visual elements. The humor is still intact like Hellboy needs to be, and the big thing that's going to differentiate this Hellboy from the other ones. This one is rated R. So get your tickets, well, I wish now, but April 12th, 2019, you'll see Hellboy. It'll be a hell of a good time. Number 2 on my list is a movie that many people are curious to see how it's going to look and how the portray of this iconic character will be in the way of Joker. Now, Joaquin Phoenix plays Arthur Fleck, who will turn into the Joker at some point. Who knows if it's going to be the whole dropping in the vat of acid, or if he's just going to lose his mind and go crazy. The only synopsis that they give us is a failed stand-up comic turns into a psychopath killer. That's all we get. But from the small little teaser we got of Joaquin standing there and he's just looking kind of disheveled, then the flashes of the makeup go on his face. It is eerie.
But I cried because your love has passed me by. You took me by surprise. I didn't realize that you were laughing.
But one thing remains, man, comic book fan or not, you were excited and a bit curious to see how Joaquin Phoenix will take this character to a different level. Now, this movie comes out October 4th, 2019. You bet your sweet little hiney I would be there opening night because I am very curious about this movie. Now, moving to our number 1 and final spot on my most anticipated movies of 2019. Of course, you know what I'm going to say. It is Marvel's Endgame. And the culmination of all these movies leading up to this moment, you do feel a deep relationship with these characters since you saw Iron Man back in, 2008? And in my opinion, it is the Star Wars of our generation. So on April 26th, 2019, I know where all of you are going to be, and it's to watch Endgame. You'll probably see me there more than once. There's maybe too much information, but I saw Infinity Wars more than once in the theater because it was just that good and depressing. Well, guys, what did you think of my list? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comments below, and please remember to like and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. And until next time, man, just go watch some good movies, get some inspiration, and get up off the couch and create something. See you guys later.